Good evening, I'm Antoine Allen. Now the main headlines in London. Footage of a black woman being arrested and de-arrested by officers after being wrongly accused of a bus fare evasion, all in front of her visibly distressed and crying 7-year-old, has led the Metropolitan Police to refer themselves to the IOPC. The Met say the incident happened on Friday and no conduct matters have been identified, but footage shared on social media has led to outrage and a protest tomorrow evening. Eyewitnesses told Daniel Henry the police acted unprofessionally.
What the hell?
Bus rides aren't supposed to end like this. A mother in handcuffs and a child in tears.
Just over the road. Yeah.
Jeff saw it happen from the other side of the street.
The child seeing this is a trauma. The child growing up and then, let's say I growing up and then I'm not liking the police. This is another reason, because my mom was mishandled. And I feel like it could have been handled better rather than physically, because at the end of the day, it's just, what, £1.70, £2?
This society needs to love themselves and love each other a little bit more. I think they really need to go back and evaluate how they deal with situations.
So what happened? Police say this woman was arrested on suspicion of fare evasion and was handcuffed. They say she was asked to show her ticket as she got off the bus, and when that didn't happen, she was spoken to by a TfL inspector, then a PCSO, and finally by a police officer. They say when officers were able to take her ticket so that TfL inspectors could check it, they confirmed her ticket was valid, which is when she was de-arrested and her handcuffs were removed. But when the community came together today, there were still questions to answer about the police account of events.
I know my local police and they want to work with the community to get these things right. It looks like it's absolutely right that this has been referred to the IOPC. I'm very glad that's happened.
What impact do you think that has on the credibility of the plan to restore trust?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big plan. It's a plan about changing the entire culture of the Met and the way we operate. So it's not going to happen overnight. And I think there will be bumps along the road as we go forward. But I think the plan is really clear to officers around what we need to do. And the job for me now as a senior leader is to make sure we land that plan and get it delivered.
Hold on. Why are you arresting her? Why are you arresting her?
So where does that leave the mum in this video? ITV News understands a complaint of racial profiling and verbal abuse has been raised. The incident has been referred to the police watchdog. Daniel Henry, ITV News.
Islamist preacher Anjem Chowdhury has been charged with 3 terror offences. The 56-year-old from Ilford appeared at Westminster Magistrate Court. He's accused of directing a terrorist organisation. And an inquest looking into the death of student Richard Okore has concluded he drowned in a pond in Epping Forest. The 19-year-old went missing from Ladbroke Grove in 2021. A survivor of the Croydon tram crash says he fears his life will forever be defined by an incident that killed 7 people. Stephen Kennedy and 9 other victims had their impact statements read out at the Old Bailey today, before sentencing of TfL and Tram Operations Limited for health and safety failings. Will the expansion of the ultra-low emission zone still go ahead? Despite growing pressure from his own party, Sadiq Khan is sticking to his plan to clean London's air, but Sir Keir Starmer said ULEZ was partly to blame for Labour's Uxbridge by-election defeat. Our political correspondent Simon Harris has more.
How's it going, actually?
Siobhan McDonough is a Labour MP at odds with London's Labour Mayor. She's among a growing number of Labour politicians unhappy at Sadiq Khan's proposed extension to the ultra-low emission zone.
I would ask Sadiq, even at this late stage, and I know it's hard, because he holds very sincerely the kind of priority of cleaning London's airs, to ask whether this is the right way and whether the people who are going to be affected by it are the right people to be affected.
Last week, Labour failed to capture Uxbridge and South Ruislip in a by-election. Some in the party openly blamed the mayor, and party leader Sir Keir Starmer told him to reflect, in other words, think again. The extended clean air zone is due to come into force 5 weeks tomorrow. City Hall said today the mayor is still committed to that timetable, but he is happy to look at ideas to mitigate the impact of ULEZ. Could that mean additional cash for a bigger scrappage scheme? City Hall won't speculate, but the mere idea of a delay to ULEZ appalls clean air campaigners.
I think we need to be honest here. The ULEZ expansion is not going to be enough to clean up there. More will need to be done in the context of reducing driving further and with reducing other sources of air pollution as well.
In June, ITV News filmed these newly installed but vandalised cameras in Uxbridge. They're among more than 100 thought to have had their cables sliced by anti-ULEZ activists. The cameras have now gone and are yet to be replaced, but Transport for London is confident enough cameras will be in place for next month's launch.
My mailbox is full of stories that are heartbreaking. People that simply cannot afford to replace their vehicles. Now is absolutely not the time for this. And to be honest, extending it into Outer London is ludicrous in every way. We do not need it in Outer London.
Would you find it hard to go out campaigning for Sadiq Khan next year?
I will be happy to go out and campaign for Sadiq as the Labour candidate for London. But I don't underestimate what a challenge that will be because people will be feeling very angry.
While the Mayor contemplates his next move, this week could see a ruling from the High Court. 5 Tory councils are seeking to have the ULEZ expansion declared unlawful. Simon Harris, ITV News.
After years out of the spotlight, Michael Barrymore is back in showbiz. Now the former TV star is calling the shots from the director's seat of a new West End play. Whilst on TV, Mr Barrymore was a household name, but things changed after a death at his home. He opened up to Rags Martel about trying to regain his confidence.
The camera for ITV. Hello ITV. Long time no see. You all right, all of you?
He's back.
Rags.
After decades away from our screens.
How have I suddenly got involved in this show? I'm supposed to be behind the scenes.
Michael Barrymore almost returning to the stage.
Welcome to my show.
Directing a West End play.
This is not about ITV. This is not about me. It's about these eight youngsters who are going to get up there tonight and hopefully do what I've asked them to do directorially.
What's it like directing? Because you're normally in front of the camera.
When I'm directing them, I'll do it like this, and I'm saying if you can't get it, just copy what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the 1990s,
Michael Barrymore!
He was one of the biggest stars on TV. But after a tragedy in 2001, where a young man was found dead in his pool, he disappeared from our screens.
Over 23 years since I've done any full telly, when your confidence is smashed like that, the confidence it takes to get up there and work the way I work, which I'm trying to still into these, to be brave on stage, to jump and not know where you're going to land and trust that the forces of the universe will conspire to make it happen to you.
The play Barrymore co-directs tells of the feud between Stan Laurel and Charlie Chaplin.
And has this given you a taste to get back on stage, back on screen?
Actually, I'm glad you asked me that, Rags, because a few times I've been asked back to do various tellies over the last 20 years. I've never once said I'm making a comeback. I haven't been anywhere to come back from. I mean, I'm 24/7 on TikTok. You know, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm the busiest I've ever been. I just love what I do. You know, I'd do it for nothing, but unfortunately we have to pay the rent, all of us. So we have to get a fee somewhere along the line.
Laurel and Chaplin, The Feud, is on at the Cambridge Theatre every Monday. Rags Martel, ITV News, in the West End.
Brollies were out today, but here's Sally to let you know about tomorrow.
ITV London weekday weather is sponsored by Octopus Electric Vehicles. Car, charger and energy.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. I hope your week got off to a good start. The risk of showers again tomorrow, but a slightly brighter day. Hopefully you'll get a bit of sunshine as well. And then into Wednesday, mostly dry by day, but we have got rain moving in later on, probably in the evening and overnight. So let's take a look at tonight. Well, we'll start to see some clear skies emerging overnight, mostly dry. Our temperatures dropping down a little bit though. Could be a little bit fresh first thing tomorrow, possibly a bit cooler than that in the countryside, maybe down to single figures. But tomorrow we've got a bit of a mixture to start the day. Some sunshine, bit of cloud, and then we'll start to see a few showers bubbling up. If we do get the odd heavy one, it's more likely to be around the middle part of the day. But there's also plenty of dry weather as well. And where you get that sun, touch warmer than today, highs of 18 to 22 degrees. Could still get a shower in the afternoon or the latter part of the afternoon, but in the evening they do tend to fade away for most of us, and there's a bit of evening sunshine there as well. Now Wednesday's not too bad during the daytime, but this system you can see behind me is moving in probably in the evening and over into Thursday, looking a bit damp and gloomy, but a bit better for Friday. We'll keep you posted. Good night, sleep well.
ITV London Weekday Weather is sponsored by Octopus Electric Vehicles.
Thanks, Sally. That's it from all of us. We're back with updates during Good Morning Britain. Until then, from all of us on the London team, good night.